How is the transfer? Oh yeah, Manu have I told you say uh, Sabitzer coming in as well. Sabitzer. So we're expecting a few deals, eh? Hey, Tkapa, bro, Tkapa.
Attempting to inflict more damage. Yusuf Nawafi thought he had added his name to the scoreboard, but the goal was chopped off as the flag was raised.
We here.
Increased their account. This time the offside decision was overturned after a VAR review. Sofian Bayazid notching up goal number 5. And 5-star Algeria
Don't
march on to the final.
Which teams do you support?
Algeria 2022.
The Manafanzani was disappointed about I said.
They'll be in the third place match. Algeria are through to the final, and they are through with a big statement victory.
Arsenal need one more midfielder since Eleni is done for the season, and we have sent Lokonga out. I think they are trying to sign one more person. Maybe if they don't get, that's why the Lokonga one I think hasn't been announced yet. Nika wanangoja kucheki. Yeah, if they can sign someone. You'll say United would fall apart without Eriksen. Watch out one. I feel like that Sabitzer deal, that Sabitzer one is a good one. That's an underrated deal, to be honest. He can do many things. He can do many things in a midfield. He's not Sika McTominay. McTominay unamweka tu box to box. That's why he shines. But ukimwambia we're holding, ama and attacking, he can't do that. So naona hiyo deal ya nini poa. Hiyo deal ya Sabitzer.
Stage 2 of the 5-stage tour of Saudi Arabia started with a 3-kilometer.
Hey, we're in for a long one.
In total, Peloton battled it out over a 184-kilometer stretch, with Dylan Groenewegen hoping to hold on to the green jersey. The general classification standings leader sat at the back of the peloton with around 71 kilometers to go, and Dusan Rajovic in the red jersey also coasted along towards the tail end. Up at the front line,
Dusan Vlahovic.
fending off Marcus van der Hansen.
Dusan Vlahovic.
3 points.
I don't know why I feel like United are waiting for such.
Bolshoi relentless, taking the maximum points once more. Jack Bauer forced to settle for 2. With the finish line in his sights, Matthias Norsgaard powered his way to the front and tried to put distance between himself and the trailing pack.
Kwanza unajua mfanzo mwenyewe amengoja nani arudi United sana. Frankie de Jong. Can we really trust Edu to bring in big players? We keep missing out on top talent. I feel what you're saying, but who have we? We've only missed on Mudrik. Caicedo, the team has refused. We're trying to get someone from a team that's doing well in January. It's going to be hard, and it's like the last 3 days of January. They haven't had a chance to get a replacement, so that's a tough deal to do. Mudrik, that one we missed out on. That one we just missed out. But Boli is a ruthless operator. So you can't judge. Then I feel like the only other deal he missed was Vlahovic. But you see, if we didn't get Vlahovic, if we got Vlahovic, we probably wouldn't have gotten Jesus. So, and to be honest, he's gotten many deals right. Akina, every person he has signed, has come through. Ramsdale, Ben White, Odegaard, who else? Martinelli. I think Martinelli was Martinelli a Edu deal? I am not sure actually. Let me check that. Who signed Martinelli? I'm feeling it's Anier actually Edu. And Martinelli was 6 million. Is Enzo at Chelsea already? I heard he was doing a medical. Yeah, so he they assigned they set up a medical for him to do it in Portugal. But from what I'm seeing, is that they are still having issues with the deal. So ideally, Enzo has a release clause. Yeah, simple. Um, he came during the Unai era, but Edu was there before. See, Edu was there during Unai. So I want to know if he was the Nini. Those will have been more impactful than Jesus. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think what Jesus and Zinchenko bring is different. Having won Premier Leagues and they're so selfless. Have you guys watched Juve play lately? As in Vlahovic is just I don't know. I don't know. I feel like we dodged a bullet. He's not bad, but he's just like when it's a Vibaya for minus 15 points. This is the time you really need like your players to step up, and he's just been ovyo. Niliwachile game yao ya Monza walichapwa 2-0 at home. But the Monza have done the double on Juve, and Juve have not scored against them in those two games. Monza are not even, I think the top 10. I don't even know. But yeah, that's wild. So I don't know. I think we dodged a bullet there. I will speak about Jorginho shortly. Let's talk about who? Enzo. Yeah, so Chelsea have met the release clause. Like, you have no choice. Once that 120 is paid for, then sorry, once the 120 million euros, once you commit you're going to pay, then the release clause is activated. The issue is um what are they? Benfica want more of the money upfront. Chelsea wants to give like a big chunk now and then spread the others over the course of the next 6-7 years, which is not working for Benfica. They want those payments to be done within 3-4 years. Ideally, ideal goal would to get that 120 all at once, but yeah, it's not going to work. Cancelo to Bayern. Hey, Cancelo Mishia. That was so random, but I feel like it was a haphazard buy. It was just very very random. Lakini nasikia pia alikuwa amekosana. Vitu kama hizi zikifanyika unajua tu mtu amekosana na Pep somewhere. It's too random for it to happen that quickly. Um, who is signing Arsenal players, Edu or Arteta? Arteta came in as head coach, so he didn't have a say or he didn't have a final say on who he signs. Then I think a year ago or a year and a half, no, about a year ago, he was promoted to manager. Basically, what Arsene Wenger, Alex used to do for the team, where he's in control of much more of the operations and has a bigger say. So he has a bigger say in transfers as of a year ago. But his first 1.5, 2 years, he didn't have that much of a say on who he's recruiting. His job was to just create a style of play and let the guys come. So yeah, right now the person who signs off on the transfer, like it's the thing about a team like Arsenal, it's like Brighton. So the scouting department, no, Arteta will come up with a game plan, be like, okay, sir, I'm playing with a 4-2-3-1. I need or a 4-3-3. I need a midfielder who can play like Xhaka's role on the left side of midfield, is left-footed and has a work rate and can run and can tackle and can pass, right? Then you tell the scouting department. Scouting department goes and starts scouting. Then when they scout, they give you a short list of like 6-7 players. Like we found this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. So then they start narrowing down who works best in our system technically, and then they also start doing more of research of like how's the passer Nini. So for example, Zinchenko was teammates with Mudrik. So they'll ask Zinchenko, hey Maze, what do you think about Mudrik? How is he as a person? How is he when things are down? Do you think he'll step up during this and this? So that's the due diligence that they do. Then when everyone is in agreement, when recruitment says, sir, he fits the system, he has good attitude, he has this, that, and that, then Edu now starts making those conversations, yeah? How much does the guy cost? If he starts negotiating the deal, starts negotiating those add-ons. So now that's the process where you see add-ons and stuff like that. So someone like Mudrik, before Mudrik was signed, Arsenal had done this with Trossard, they had done it with Joao Felix, and they had done it with Rafinha. So you have a short list of 4 people who you know will fit your system of play, but you're trying to go. So you have a plan A, plan B, plan C, like that. So when plan A backfired, which was Mudrik, literally 4 days later, in the morning, it was announced Gioni, the guy has signed. So yeah, that's essentially how clubs should work. So if you don't have that system, which Chelsea don't because they don't have recruitment, they're just going for players. They're not recruiting anyone to a style of play. So it can work. It can work so that it can't work, and it's high risk, high reward. Mm. High risk, high reward. Chill sport. That's Sabista deal. My hopes up. My hopes were up. I was hoping we could take Carrasco. Maze Carrasco, you've dodged a bullet, bro. Carrasco is not a player. The thing with Carrasco is any player from Europe, if you're serious about football, you cannot go to China in your early 20s. Something is not right. Mm. Uh, Chelsea have agreed a fee with Benfica. That's from Kipro. What about the Lokonga deal? Lokonga to Crystal Palace, it might go through. I think Arsenal are just waiting to see. I think they're in for another midfielder, and if they get someone else, then they'll let Lokonga go. But if they don't get that person, and Jorginho is and Jorginho has to be sealed. So if the Jorginho deal doesn't go through, then Lokonga is not going for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure. But I think it's hinging on them signing Jorginho. Actually, I just said Jorginho. If Jorginho is signed, I think they might let Lokonga go. To be honest, because Apple mid Kavaya Odegaard and Fabio Vieira, Kavaya Xhaka and Hatuna, but you might find Nani will start playing there. Zinchenko. Do not sleep on Zinchenko playing in midfield for us between now and the end of the season. He basically does that anyway. That's the one thing about us getting Jorginho. If Jorginho comes, he doesn't have to play like Partey. All he needs to do is just make sure the ball goes from defense to offense, like in a nice way. And he's a very good passer. He's very shaky defensively. But once you put someone like Zinchenko in there, or you tell Xhaka to drop and have Tiani. So now instead of Xhaka being the one that goes up, Tiani is the one that bombs forward. So there's different ways I feel like Arteta can play around with our formation to make it work. But this all comes because these guys have been coached over the past few years. The Jorginho deal got done some hours ago. Yeah, it was done, but it's not been announced. So officially, it's not been announced. So everything is done, but it hasn't been announced. Will Arsenal sign anyone after Jorginho? I don't think so. It seems a bit too late, but they have a tendency of making very last minute signings. Oh yeah, ESR. We have Emil Smith Rowe on that left side. That's the person I was thinking of. Problem with the ESR is now the injuries, so you need to get cover for him. Yeah. So, but yeah, for sure. Arsenal bashing Lokonga surprised me. He's a good player. He just needs some experience. Arsenal fans, not Arsenal. Arsenal. That kid is good, man. I feel like the things he's good at, you can't teach. The things he's poor at, you can coach out of him, right? Like his positioning. There are times when he's confident, he really moves with it. He drives the ball forward. He reminds me of Diaby. When Diaby and with those long legs, where it's like I can space and get space at a ball in here. But positioning, meaning he just potters in the middle of a game. And that's the one position for you to control a game, you can't get lost in the middle of a game. And the only way you can learn that is through playing. Because right now he's not playing. At least learned the Arsenal system in Nini, but we're trying to go for a title. We don't have too much room for error. So I kind of feel bad for him that he's not going to be there, but at the same time, for the future, he actually needs playing time. But the person to watch out for is this Arsenal number 6. Who does he play for? I think he went to Sociedad or Valladolid. The guy who used to have dreads and then he knew it. Miguel Aziz. Miguel Aziz is a baller. Miguel Aziz is a baller. He's in the National Academy. He's now playing in La Liga or in Segunda. Segunda is the second division. Yeah, so he went on loan. So we have talent in the academy, but that's a position those people need experience, like playing. So Miguel Aziz and Charlie Patino. Charlie Patino scored against Southampton in the FA Cup. He plays for Blackpool. So those are good kids that I'm seeing from the academy. Jorginho has already signed. I think Arsenal should sell Smith Rowe. Nah, Smith Rowe can't be sold. Um, um, his Arsenal academy is number 10. he's really struggled. So apparently, this groin injury that he got recently, that he got surgery for, has been disturbing him for almost 2 3 years, even when he was on loan in Germany. And he was just um in maintaining it. So now that he had surgery, he actually said that he feels good. Like he actually feels good. So obviously, being out for that long, you'll get muscular injuries. It happens. Long layoff, you'll get hamstring cord injuries. That's very normal. But for him, I don't think we can rely on him week in week out this season. But like this is a good time. You know, when the team is feeling good, top of the league, Nini, that's the time then you want to be part of the team. I feel like that's good for him as a kid now. He really struggled in Germany, to be honest. Mm, his loan was cut from Ibiza. He's at Ipswich now. Miguel Aziz, yeah, he currently has a hamstring. Yeah, hamstring issues are very common after a long layoff. Um, Fogging football, no coactive hapa hivi. No coactive, no coactive. Lokonga's issue is positioning, and he's probably going to learn from one of the best sixes in history. Yep. He actually reminds me of Yaya. That's a good one. Yeah, but Yaya was a different animal, bro. Yaya's ability to move forward and score goals. I'm yet to see that in Lokonga. And I guess scoring and moving forward, it really comes with time. You remember when Odegaard came his first stint, he used to like he never used to shoot the ball. Used to be like he gets there and he wants to pass. He wants to pass. You know, even the beginning of the season, I remember the Palace game, and I'm sure many guys watched that Palace game together on this chat. Like there were times he was just so timid, but you can see he's been told, yo, if you get a chance, shoot. Wachana na historia nini tikitaka. Shoot. Jorginho's only weakness is mobility. Yes. Jacques Ascave is Emil Smith Rowe. Yes. Hey, Vogue football, unongea facts only. Uh, Balogun, yeah. Balogun is playing as a striker. He has the most goals. The under 21 with the most goals in Europe's top five. So what's funny is his contract and Nketiah's contract issued at the same time last season. But if you guys watched Arsenal, obviously you'd see how um, our fortunes changed last season when Nketiah was the striker instead of Lacazette, and Nani really begged, because it's very rare for someone to just sign a new contract and his contract has ended, which is basically what Nketiah did. So, like Arteta must have really put his trust in him. So it's good to see him shine. It's good to see him shine. So him and Balogun signed a new contract at the same time. But Balogun, the dad was really not about that story. Konda kaende. But yeah, the guy is coming through now. He's playing well. Yeah, we'll see. Vieira should work on his physicality. The other thing about Vieira is Lia Niaje. The other thing about Vieira is when he goes to what's that place called? When he goes to Crystal Palace, he's going to be playing against Nani, this new number six that Crystal Palace have. I love that guy so much, and I hope he's going to play alongside him because there's no way he's going to bench. Ah, I'll get the name right now. Mesogene Crystal Palace midfielder. They signed him in January. I don't see what people see in Jorginho, honestly. Cheikh Dukure. No, not Dukure. Not Dukure. Is it Dukure? Yes, Dukure. Dukure is really dope. I don't know. I don't know if yes, you're right. Fogging, you're right. Silent noise, you're right. Yes. Silent noise maker, you're right. Jojo, thanks for the follow. I think they'll play. He might have to play him next to him. There's no he's benching Dukure. Will Hughes just started coming on recently. He hasn't been playing a lot this season. Jorginho is a good signing. Okay, this is what I feel about Jorginho. Jorginho is not going to play like Partey. It's the same thing with Nketiah. When Jesus went down, we didn't want Nketiah to play like Jesus. You being Nketiah. So whatever he does is he doesn't come deep too much to get the ball. Him is a poacher. Your job is to poach. and it's Martinelli and Saka's job to adapt, which they've done well. So it's the same thing with Jorginho. He's going to limit us a bit defensively, but he's going to make us very going forward. That boy can pass a ball. Like that's just the truth. He's very good at progressing the ball. He's a very good passer. Defensively, obviously, we give up a lot. So there's that. He's not mobile and everything. But the other thing is, you can always play Xhaka next to him. So instead of Xhaka going up to a lot the way he does, now you can bring Xhaka a bit behind to keep it tighter. Or have Zinchenko basically be tight with him. So when Jorginho is there and we're transitioning into defense, you still have Zinchenko in there. Zinchenko is a cheat code. Zinchenko is a cheat code. Zinchenko is a cheat code. He makes us so tactically flexible. It's so beautiful to watch. And then at the very least, let us say Party is fit until the end of the season. Jorginho is just there to kill off games. When the games when you're leading 1-0, 2-1 somewhere away, 2-0 somewhere, come and kill off a game. And then on top of that, this guy was UEFA best player in Europe. He's a Champions League winner and he's a Euro winner. So we need that experience. Let's just be honest. We are the youngest team in the league. We need the experience. That's the only. Actually, I had two things that I didn't like about the Caicedo deal, and they're not about him as a player. It was more the circumstance and that he was put in. That fee was going to be too high, and we've seen people don't live up to those fees. Look at Pepe. And then secondly, experience, Maze. We're a young team trying to win a title. Right now, we need some old heads. Zinchenko and Jesus are 25. Xhaka and Partey are 29 and 30. Let's just be honest. Xhaka is experienced as a leader, but he hasn't won anything. Partey at least has won La Liga and Nini. But even when he was winning those La Ligas, he was like a part-time player. But at least he knows what it takes. And getting the Champions League final, getting the Europa League final, he knows that. So just adding a bit more of experience just in the locker room, those tough days that we have when we go to, I don't know, Brentford away. Brentford we finished with them. I don't know, like Newcastle away, when it's like 10 games to go and there's pressure. Like he can calm the guys down, talk to them in the locker room. Just having another voice there is not bad. It helps these kids, man. These kids you need that type of presence in the locker room. So I think it's important. It's important. He'll bring much more off the field, I feel, than on it. But when he has to come on, I feel like he'll do a solid job. Just as long as we don't have to rely on him for like 3 months if Party gets injured. That's my biggest worry. A question for you, please. Odegaard or Madison? I think that's a very straightforward. Straightforward. Lokonga could push Schlupp to the bench. Schlupp atakuwa akicheza. Schlupp atakuwa akicheza. Kwani umetoboa masikio? Masikio nimetoboa. Is Jesus back, Bado? He's trying to be back for the Man City game because he really wants to play against Man City, but sioni hiyo story Teta kikubali. Jorginho is good since we didn't sign him as the main man. Yeah, him as a Nini player is good, I feel. If Ateta wants Jorginho, we trust him. Ivo Arun. Ivo do. He offers ball retention, that's true. Ball progression numbers similar to Parties. Yeah, that's true. But even if you look at that Italy team when they were winning, he was his numbers were crazy in that team. But that's because no one else was doing it. It was just up to him to do it. So if he has to do it and it's his job, he can do it. But in a team where many people are doing it and he just compliments, it's good. I like it. I don't love it. I would have loved Caicedo, but I love it in terms of just locker room presence. Tumonge Arsenal sana, tuonge team ingine. Man U, ama Chelsea. How do you see Marcel Sabitzer? Is it good for Eric and entire Manchester? Yes. But Sabitzer, for me personally, okay, I watched him at Leipzig more than Bayern, for sure, because he hasn't played that much at Bayern. But also, I don't think I've watched him that much. But one thing is, when you're at Leipzig, he was the captain, I think. So already very good leadership qualities there. Work rate is high. I would say he's more of like an Eriksen in terms of what Eriksen has been doing for Manu this season, being everywhere. Eriksen is playing DMF. Against Arsenal, he's playing DMF. At some point, he has to go and create. He can do a lot of many things. He can progress the ball. He's good in defensive transitions. He has a high work rate. His injury record is also not bad. I think the last time he was out was sometime last year in May, so for like five games. So injury wise is not bad. High work rate. He has a good long pass. That's another thing. So he has things that work in his favor, which right now amongst the players that are fit on United's midfield, they don't have, right? Maybe a bit of Casemiro has a bit of it in terms of distribution, but that ability to easily combine the back to the front in terms of progressing the ball and stuff like that. He's good at that. He's good at that. So he's a good midfielder to add to a team that needs versatility at this point. Because Manu, Fred and McTominay are just the same person. But McTominay is better as a box to box, Fred as well. But Fred is not good as being there. Actually, Fred and McTominay are not good at being the number 8 receiving the ball from the gear, for example. Um, so yeah, Sabitzer can do that job. That's a to me that's a solid signing. But I feel like they still need another one. They still need another one. With Jorginho, I think the system is robust enough to cover for his faults. I hope so. I hope it doesn't take away from our strengths. Sabitzer is not an upgrade on who? On Ericsson. Yeah, I don't think he's an upgrade. I wouldn't say he's an upgrade, but he's a he's a good short term fix because even his deal there's no option to buy. But Eric fucking anasema Sabitzer is basically Ericsson with a better defensive sense. But he's not. But Ericsson is a much better offensive player. Let's not disrespect Ericsson, please. Um, Fernandez undergoing a medical in Portugal is false according to Onstein. So the Enzo deal is they have booked the medical. Last time I checked, I don't think because you have to book like once the deal is ratified, the guy has to go quickly and get a medical. I think once the paperwork goes through, it's not a big deal. It's not a biggie. Acha tuingia hapa. Athletic. Cedric Soares to Fulham. Yeah, I think that was Nini. I think that was we've done a video on that actually. But that deal, there was also waiting. I think Dortmund and what's his name? Dortmund and Arsenal were in for Fresneda from Valladolid. But hiyo story imekataliwa, wamekataa. Aya. Athletic, this just in. Chelsea target Enzo has been given permission by Benfica to undergo a medical. Man United are pursuing a loan for it's about the same ones. Hey, by the way, Nottingham Forest about to sign Keylor Navas from PSG. How does everyone feel about that one? How does everyone? Zinchenko in Manchester game with Arsenal high again, and United had no idea to stop him. He was everywhere. Jamie, you're right. That guy was everywhere. Alikuwa tu hitmap yake ilikuwa tu field mzima. Zach, facts. Hata niwaulize, kwani nyote ni mafanu wa Arsenal? It's not a bad thing. I'm not complaining. But I want to see these United fans. I want to see how they really feel. Fans wa Chelsea hawezi kuja kutia dini transfer. Wanajua tu jina ikiwa if Chelsea are linked to anyone, it's over, it's signed. Omari Hutchinson. You guys know Omari Hutchinson. Chelsea bought him from Arsenal. He's about to join West Brom on loan. Wigan were also in the running for his signature, but West Brom looked to win the race. So yeah, Hutchinson. Just fact. Tumeongea in detail about Jorginho. I don't know. Someone can summarize. Yes, I feel like someone said something here that I can't remember. Kuna mtu alisema vizuri. I think ilikuwa Fogging ulisema. Yes, the system is robust enough to cover for his faults. Do you? That is what we basically say. And him outside the locker room, akopoa, as a presence when you're trying to chase a title, because he has won things. Yeah, it's okay. just for Tusijali, will take you through it. Yeah. So basically, him being able to actually, yeah, Newcastle game ya Newcastle iko live here. Anthony Gordon. Anthony Gordon ana clap. Wow, wow, wow. This game ametoka tu Everton hivyo tu live. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Umsa alitoka Everton live. Everton live. Who else did Newcastle buy? They're bringing new two people. Two people are clapping for the crowd. Anyway, just for Tuko area. I go through this Nini one more time. Um, yeah, so we feel like he fits the system. His ball progression is good. His ability to play from the back, receive the ball from the keeper, and actually advance the ball, really nice. Biggest issue is his mobility. Obviously, can't defend as well as Partey, but he's a good person to add to the locker room. Seeing his ameshinda vitu mob sana. It's good for a young locker room to have someone of experience like that. And he was your best player 2 years ago. Man. Let's not act like he wasn't the best player in Europe. He was, well, according to the records. But Everton, if they're not careful, they're going to relegate it. You see it coming. You don't think Naneta Fanya job poor? Sean Dyche? I actually think Sean Dyche is a very, very underrated manager. Very underrated. Do you see Chelsea getting in trouble with FFP soon? Nope, not at all. I'm going to make a big video about that one. I'm going to make a video, maybe an animation, I think, just to explain. But long story short, what they're doing is they're signing players and they're amortizing. So their amortization basically means you sign a player at 60 million. If you sign him on a 10-year contract, you spread it over 6 years. Sorry, 60 million. Okay, 100 million. 100 million, you give him a 10-year contract. You spread it over 10 years. So in your books, it says you're paying 10 million every year. So that team gets 10 million 10 million comes out of Chelsea's books and 10 million goes to Benfica every season. So they can spread it over time. They can spread the cost over time in their books, right? So what they've done is they've signed all these players, but they've given them 7-year contracts, 8-year contracts. So if someone has been signed for 35 million and or let's say 36 million to give it a round figure, no, sorry, 32 million to give it a round figure. Then he's given an 8-year contract. In the books, it's 4 million a year. So if you add up, like Mudrik is 10, Sijum Badiashil is 4, whatever, all of it comes to around 37, 38, almost 40 million. So in essence, they've spent 40 million this January. Smart. Smart. But now UEFA is coming in and saying, Z, you can't give people 7-year contracts. But that only comes into play from summer, July. So that's why they're trying to push these deals now. This ends on, if they don't push it now, they probably won't be able to do it in January, in July, August, that period, because in the summer, because if the UEFA rules come in, then they'll have to sign him on a 5-year deal. And if they sign him on a 5-year deal and they're paying 100 million, that will have to be 20 million coming off their book, as opposed to now, where they don't sign him for 100 and spread it over maybe 8-year contract, which will come to like 12 million a year or something like that. So yeah, ana shida ako poa tu. Shida ya Daesh ni tools. Not sure he has the right players to do what he needs to do. He probably could. Able, let's go through this Everton squad. So they have Pickford. Apo Nyuma, they have this was again that Colombian guy. Wio. They have Tarkowski. They have who else is in this team? You're waiting to see Jorginho's UCL medal. When kuna mimeona ndo mwanzo hapo. That didn't 25. Any news from Cedric to Fulham? Cedric to Fulham, yes, it's about to be finalized. So the move for the 20-year-old right back is contingent on the club first turning one of the existing loans into permanent signing. However, that is likely to be Shane Duffy. So they have too many players on loan, so they have to convert one to a permanent deal. You can't have more than two players on loan from the from the Premier League. So right now they already have Shane Duffy on loan and Dan James from Leeds. So they have to convert one into a permanent deal because they want Cedric on a loan. So that's the hold up basically. Um, hey, deal just in. Ayose Perez has joined Real Betis. Guys, Real Betis is my team in Spain. If you guys don't know, as we want players because the people are just leaving Spain. Everyone is coming to the Premier League. Uh, Cedric, it's just papers remaining. Yeah, it's that loan thing. That loan thing has to go through. So they have to convert one of. So they have Shane Duffy on loan from Brighton and Dan James on loan from Leeds. You can only have two people on loan from the Premier League. Those two already play for coming from teams of the Premier League. So one of them has to convert to a permanent, which I guess Shane Duffy had an option to buy. So I think Fulham will trigger that clause and then buy him, basically obliged to buy and pay for it in January in the summer, and then Sir Suarez now will be able to come in as a nini. Mani menunua nani? Sabitza anakam on loan, no option to buy. Aya, wase tulikuwa tunaangalia hii squad ya Everton. Aya, squad ya Everton. Everton squad. Tumeanza kipa huko nyuma. Kipa tuko na Pickford. Guy, nani is still a nini player? Mikolenko. Ayose, but Ayose, whenever Ayose plays, there's nothing he does in that team. Whom say ni kama vile toka tu Newcastle, yani his power has just left, yani. There's nothing he hasn't been able to perform. Kabisa, not been able to. So, vile naona him coming to my team in Spain, Real Betis, next to Sergio Canales, is the way forward. Hapo mbele tu ya William Carvalho, and you still have Bora Iglesias and tuko poa bro, tuko poa. But nani aliishia? Aston Villa got the left back. Shit, what's his name? I forget his name. Aya, tuko kwa squad. Pickford na Begovic goalkeepers. Naona hapo King Denzel amesema big boy Iwobi. Iglesias is not bro. Boha. Hey. Anyway, defenders Tarkowski, Patterson. Nimeona msa hapa alisema Coleman. To be honest, at right back I'd rather have Patterson. Coleman is just injury, bro. Injury prone. Tarkowski, Holgate, Michael Keane, Yerimina. Hapo nyuma. Oh, they also have Kona Cody. Hapa naona tu mse akeka tu pack the bus. Sema tu vile Burnley ilikuwa inacheza na Ben Mee na Tarkowski. Tarkowski alikuwa player wake Burnley. Unaweka tu Tarkowski na Kona Cody. Tuache mchezo. Alafu left back tuweke Nikolenko. Yerimina sina kucheza hii team tena kusema ukweli. Aya, tuseme hiyo ni back four. Hapo mid tuko na Onana, Dukure, Iwobi, Idrissa Gueye na James Garner. Yeah, I think but hii midfield yao imejaa ni wa Afrika, imejaa nini? Just black people. This is a good thing. Umse anataka kuchagua hii squad ya pace and power. Hakuna finesse. Onana, Iwobi na Idrissa. Bas, hivyo tu 4-3-3. No, but will Nani play 4-3-3? Sean Dyche? I doubt it. Maybe 4-4-2. Alafu Dwight McNeil alikuwa basically mtoyo wake akiwa Burnley. So of course McNeil atakuwa hapo left wing. Calvert-Lewin striker, Demarai ile wing nyingine. Mazee Maupai. I don't have hope in Maupai. And then Townsend. Yeah. Hey, by the way, do you guys know Nani? Moise Kean is still an Everton player. He's out on loan. He's at Juve, but he's on loan. He's still an Everton player. Same as Dele Alli and Andre Gomez. Hey, these guys made some really bad signings. Wow. Caicedo amedu. Yeah, he has Tarkowski and McNeil, and Connor Cody also fits that mold. of those defenders. We don't rate Iglesias in Spain. Iglesias should have gone to the World Cup instead of Ansu Fati. I am convinced. There is actually nothing Ansu Fati had on that guy. Boha was the third top scorer in La Liga. He was actually his like that striker that you need in the box. Because of that game that Spain had to do how much possession with Ile Morata ya Morocco. Yeah. That's the game. That is the game. Issue ni 442 na nani huko juu na DCL. Bota tu score tena. DCL hapo juu. DCL anaweza kana hata Demarai, Gray ama Maupai. But Maupai manze, Maupai anipati motisha umse. Game ya Newcastle na Southampton imeanza. Wameanza wana moto. Newcastle have already had like 2 shots on goal. Acha niwaulize, if Newcastle beats Southampton and United qualify tomorrow, United are 3-0 up. So they're definitely just hiyo ni kazi rahisi. Woo! Wilson has twisted his ankle. Umse ataumia tu sahi. Who wins that game? Who wins the Carabao Cup final? Who wins Carabao Cup final between Man U and Newcastle? Ansu is really inconsistent. Can't trust him yet. Yeah, that's true. We thought he'd kick on after getting that number 10 and at Everton tried to sign Batshuayi from Fenerbahce, but Batshuayi alikata. He has scored 10 goals in 14 Super League appearances. But this is to result napata kutoka nini? Athletic. If I speak bad about until they drag me out of Barcelona. Sawa Mourinho, sawa. Jimmy anasema Man United wanashinda. Woo! Longstaff 1-0. Hey, Newcastle wanakujia title bro, wanakujia title. Update on transfer deadline mkuu. Haya, update ni hivi. Tumekuwa tukiupdate but tunaweza fanya tena. Enzo Fernandez anaenda kufanya medical, amepewa permission, hatujui kama ashaenda. Jorginho tunajua hata I think amepewa number 20 Arsenal. Sabitzer is on his way to Manchester, if not there. Keylor Navas might be going to Nottingham Forest. Something to watch out for. Fulham have signed Sasa Lukic from Torino. Serbian international, plays in midfield. Eish, what a goal. Trippier assist. I must say Southampton surely. Unsa amepata touch card tatu ndani ya box. 1 2 actually mbili. Trippier 2 touches, Nani 2 touches, back of the net. Tunaendelea na update. Omari Hutchinson, Chelsea player signed from Arsenal in the last summer, is going to West Brom on loan. Cedric about to be finalized by Fulham. Ayose Perez ameenda Real Betis, kutoka Leicester. Batshuayi amereject Everton. Who else? Southampton have agreed a deal for gang striker Paul Onuachu. Conor Gallagher looks set to stay at Stamford Bridge. Hey, Nathaniel Chaloba. Fulham bro, Chaloba ule mwingine. He has signed for West Brom. 18-month permanent deal. Kanyos has left Brentford for Olympiacos on loan till the end of the season. Bournemouth wajaribu kusign Zaniolo, lakini hiyo story it was killed at the source. I'm sure nani amekata hiyo story. Tino. Ooh. Ooh, long staff. Kama funge ingine. Ooh. Gimaresh. Hey! Newcastle wanacheza poa. That was close. Southampton were awful. Hey, mbaya, bro. Mbaya. Manchester United, a lot. Calvert-Lewin mazeta service ikikuja maze hii season ameka too off. I think since that injury, he's just looked. He has not looked the same player. Newcastle shot on target, but it was very tame. Very tame. Very tame. Wait, Onuachu is 6'7". I don't know who he is. At 6'7". Onuachu is 6'7". That's well. Studio Liverpool hapa. Jaja! I see you. Really trying to gas up Jorginho. Jorginho is for real, bro. Jorginho is the real deal. You need experience. Arsenal have completed the transfer. It's official. Jorginho to Arsenal is official. Cardinal. You, Mr. Kingston. Enzo. Jorginho number 20 ndio anapose na Ateta. Dirty love. Jorginho. You know what the wildest thing would be? If for some reason Chelsea don't get Enzo, they won't have a midfield. I doubt it's going to happen, but Kovacic ni nani? Kovacic has not been fit. He has not been around. Kante has not been around. Who else is gone? Zakaria got injured last week. Hey, Joelinton. Hey, he has been really playing like a Brazilian lately. Really playing like a Brazilian. Squeezing naweza sema yani ametoka Brazil. Hussein Uba, umesema here we go imeingia ya Sabitza. Msameka picha ya Mustafa kiba number 20 anasema Jorginho has big boots to fill. Oi 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 oi. Oi oi oi. Oi 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 oi. Forgot Chelsea had Zakaria. He can be a great player. But isn't he on loan as well? I feel pain for San Maxima. Problem with San Maxima is Maze, he always gets muscular injuries. I agree with what Nani is doing. Just ease him back in. Hakuna haja ya stress. Because I think, see, the last game, the Southampton game was his first game back in a while. So, hakuna haja kuharakisha mse. You know, last year, he had to play. Hakukuwa na choice. And also, I think they'll give him enough games that is a poor, alafu wamuze. I don't know. I don't think he can stay. He's too erratic. But his final results could even improve. Smokweli, to be honest. Nika Almiron. Man City. Deal confirmed. Bora tupate Enzo Fernandez ama aje. Mkipata Enzo iko sawa. But I have learned from previous managers, you have to confirm that deal before you let anyone leave. To be honest, having Jorginho is better than no one. Tungenda tu hii Premier League hivi bila mtu. Bila Caicedo, bila nothing. At least we have sort of addressed 3 areas. No, we have addressed 3 areas of weakness. Wow. Se wanapangwa. Watulete San Maximum hiyo finale Karaba. Huyo mse anakaa tu kuja afunge alafu aumie atoke. Typical. Hey, Sean, you Mr. Kingston. Hey, Idris Elba na watch game ya Newcastle na Southampton. Town ndani. Woo! Bazunu. Every time I look up, na tu Newcastle wako kwa counter. Always. It's just constant. Michako ndo mbaya mu unapotea. Sijui hata ni mbaya, nashangaa. Mefreeze. Ukitaka soma rebo. Soma rebo na via tonight. Snakey, Pioja, Nasara Kasisi. Hey, Newcastle are defending so well, yani. So well. I don't know. What's happening? How come you won't tell me what's happening? Tell me what's really going on. That's it. But bado imeenda noma ama tukoaje? I say tell you.